Every morning, thousands of coffee shops unlock their doors. But many are quietly losing money before the first customer even... The shocking part? Selling great coffee isn't what decides whether a cafe survives. Some cafe owners earn six figures each year, while others close their doors within months. So what separates the winners from everyone else? It's not luck, and it's definitely not the coffee.
By the end of this video, you'll understand the real economics behind every successful cafe and why most people never see the full picture.
Meet Mike. He's 29 years old, works a regular office job, and dreams of owning a cozy neighborhood cafe instead of sitting behind a desk. After months of watching successful cafes online, Mike starts believing, if they can do it, why can't I?
But social media only shows the full tables, not the unpaid bills hiding behind the counter.
Before selling a single cup of coffee, Mike has to answer one uncomfortable question. How much will this dream actually cost? And that's where almost every future cafe owner makes their very first and often their biggest financial mistake. Mike's first surprise isn't buying coffee beans. It's realizing he needs thousands of dollars before opening day even begins. Espresso machines, grinders, refrigerators, furniture, each item seems reasonable alone, but together they become a math. Then comes rent. Even before serving your first latte, the landlord expects payment right on time. And here's something many beginners forget. Licenses, insurance, and health permits aren't optional. They're part of doing business. Before opening the doors, Mike adds everything together and suddenly realizes starting a cafe costs far more than he ever imagined. Opening day finally arrives. Customers walk in, coffee starts brewing, and Mike thinks the hard part is finally over. But every single morning starts a new timer. Because the cafe keeps spending money, even before making its first sale. These are called fixed costs, expenses you must pay whether you sell one coffee or 1,000.
Then come variable costs, things that increase as more customers place more orders.
The smartest cafe owners don't focus only on selling more coffee. They learn how to control both fixed and variable costs without hurting quality. Mike's cafe is finally attracting customers. But there's one question that matters more than sales. Is every cup
A $5 latte doesn't mean $5 in profit. The coffee beans, milk, cup, lid, and labor all take their share first.
That remaining amount is called your profit margin. The money left after covering the direct cost of making each drink. Price your coffee too low, and you'll stay busy without building a healthy business. Price it too high, and customers may simply walk away. Successful cafe owners don't chase the cheapest price. They find the sweet spot where customers feel happy and the business stays profitable for. At first, business looks great. The cafe is busy, customers are smiling, and the cash register keeps ringing. But Mike notices something strange. The problem isn't low sales. It's waste. Tiny losses repeated hundreds of times quietly destroy profits.
A little extra milk, an extra pump of syrup, one wasted pastry. Alone they seem harmless, but together they add up every...
That's why successful cafe owners track every ingredient. They know small savings, repeated thousands of times, become real profits. But controlling waste solves only half the puzzle. The next challenge is finding enough customers to keep every chair filled without spending a fortune.
Mike thought people came back because of the coffee, but after watching his customers closely, he discovered something far more valuable.
One customer smiled because the barista remembered her name. Another returned simply because the cafe felt comfortable after a stressful day.
The product wasn't just coffee anymore. It became an experience people wanted to repeat. That's why many successful cafes earn loyal customers without having the cheapest prices in town.
Loyal customers don't just buy more coffee. They tell their friends, leave positive reviews, and become your most powerful marketing team for free.
A few months later, Mike notices something unexpected. The coffee tastes the same, the service is still great, but fewer. The problem isn't bad coffee, it's seasonality. Customer habits naturally change throughout the year. Hot coffee may sell better on cold mornings, while iced drinks become favorites during the summer. Smart cafe owners prepare for these shifts instead of Mike updates the menu with seasonal drinks and limited-time specials.
Wow!
Suddenly, customers have a fresh reason to come back. Mike learns an important lesson. Successful cafes don't wait for customers to change. They change before customers do. Just 1 year after opening, Mike's Cafe is finally profitable. Friends start asking the same question. When are you opening your... Growing sounds exciting, but expanding too early has quietly destroyed thousands of promising businesses. A second cafe doesn't just double your sales, it also doubles many responsibilities: staff, rent, inventory, and daily management. Instead of rushing, Mike studies the numbers. He asks one simple question: is my first cafe strong enough to succeed without me? That question changes everything. Because real growth begins when the business can run on systems, not just on the owner's hard work. One morning, Mike notices something unusual. The cafe is still busy, but customers are spending less than before. When people worry about money, they don't always stop buying coffee. They simply become more careful with every dollar they spend. Successful cafe owners don't panic during slowdowns. They study customer behavior and adapt before small problems become big ones. Instead of cutting quality, Mike creates value. He introduces simple breakfast combos that help customers save while keeping the business. The lesson is simple. Businesses that solve customers' problems during difficult times often earn their trust long after the economy improves.
Months pass, and Mike notices something else. His sales are steady, but his profits keep getting smaller.
The reason isn't fewer customers, it's inflation. Many everyday business costs slowly become more expensive over time. The inflation simply means your money buys a little less than it did before. For business owners, that can quietly squeeze profits. Mike faces a difficult choice: raise prices and risk upsetting customers, or keep prices the same and earn less on every cup. Instead of making one big increase, Mike adjusts prices gradually while improving quality and service. Customers notice the value. Every successful cafe owner watches one number almost every day: cash flow. Because profit on paper doesn't always mean cash in the bank.
Imagine selling hundreds of coffees today, but your supplier's bill is due tomorrow. Timing matters just as much as sales.
That's why smart owners keep a cash reserve. It acts like a financial seatbelt when unexpected expenses suddenly appear. Then the unexpected happens. One morning, the espresso machine suddenly stops working right before the busiest hours of the week. Because Mike prepared ahead, he pays for the repair without taking on expensive debt. One smart financial habit keeps the business moving forward. Just when Mike feels confident again, a brand new cafe opens directly across the street. The new cafe has stylish furniture, flashy advertising, and opening day discounts. Mike wonders if his customers will leave. Many businesses react by starting a price war. But lower prices often create lower profits, not stronger businesses. Instead of competing on price, Mike focuses on something competitors can't copy overnight: trust and consistency. A few weeks later, Mike notices something powerful. New customers may visit because of discounts, but loyal customers return because of trust. Mike notices something interesting. A small group of customers keeps coming back again and again, and they're becoming the heart of his business.
These loyal customers don't just buy coffee. They bring friends, recommend the cafe, and often spend more over time.
Business owners call this customer lifetime value, the total value one customer creates over many visits, not just one purchase. That's why keeping an existing customer is often more valuable than constantly chasing new ones. Mike launches a simple rewards card. Buy 9 coffees and the 10th is free. Customers love the idea, and repeat visits begin to grow. One evening, Mike looks around his busy cafe and asks himself a bigger question. Have I built a cafe? A cafe sells coffee. A brand creates memories. That's why people often travel farther and willingly pay more for places. Mike begins creating a unique identity. The same logo, the same cup design, the same friendly greeting, and the same quality. Customers begin recognizing Mike's Cafe instantly. Familiarity builds trust, and trust often leads to repeat business. Without realizing it, Mike has stopped competing as just another cafe. He's becoming a business people actually remember. Everything seems to be going perfectly, until one rainy week changes everything. Customer traffic suddenly drops. A few slow days aren't a disaster, but if you don't prepare for them, they can quietly drain your business. Instead of waiting for customers, Mike decides to bring the cafe to them. Soon, office workers, nearby residents, and busy professionals begin ordering online instead of visiting in person. Mike learns another business lesson. The strongest companies don't depend on just one way of making money. They build multiple ways to serve customers. By the end of the year, Mike's cafe is making money consistently, but one question keeps him awake at night. Am I building income? Income pays today's bills. Wealth creates opportunities for tomorrow. They're connected, but they're not the same thing. Mike realizes something important. If every decision depends on him, he doesn't truly own a business. He owns another full-time job. So Mike starts documenting everything, from opening procedures to customer service standards, making the business less dependent on himself. That's when Mike finally understands the difference between working in a business and building a business that works without you. One afternoon, Mike receives an unexpected phone call. Another entrepreneur wants to buy his cafe. At first, Mike thinks, how can someone buy a coffee shop? Then he realizes they're not buying coffee, they're buying a successful business. Businesses are often valued by their ability to generate future profits, not just by the equipment sitting inside the building. Mike now has 3 choices: sell the cafe, open more locations, or franchise the brand so others can operate under his system. There isn't one perfect answer. The best decision depends on your goals, your risk tolerance, and the life you want to build. Years later, people don't just remember Mike's coffee. They remember how his business made them feel every single time they walk through the door. The greatest businesses aren't built by chasing quick money. They're built by solving real problems, one customer at a time. Every smart decision Mike made, from managing costs to building trust, created something much bigger than daily sales. It created long-term.
And that's the real economics of owning a cafe. It's never just about selling coffee. It's about building a system that creates value every single day.
And here's the biggest takeaway. Every successful business starts with a simple idea, but it survives because of smart financial decisions made.
So, how much can a cafe actually earn? The honest answer is, it depends on far more than the number of cups you sell. A busy cafe with high costs can earn less than a smaller cafe that's managed efficiently. Revenue is important, but profit keeps. Successful owners constantly watch a few key numbers: sales, expenses, profit, cash flow, and customer retention. Ignoring even one of these numbers can slowly turn a profitable cafe into a struggling business before anyone notices. Mike now reviews these numbers every week. Instead of reacting to problems, he spots them early and fixes them before they grow.
For years, Mike believed success meant working harder. Then one day, he asked himself a different question. What if success means
Instead of doing every job himself, Mike starts trusting his team with more responsibility. At first, letting go feels uncomfortable. But soon, Mike realizes his team can solve many problems without waiting for him. Now Mike spends less time putting out fires and more time improving the business for the future. That's the moment Mike stops acting like an employee inside the business and starts thinking like a true business owner. One Saturday morning, Mike takes his first full day off in years. Surprisingly, the cafe runs just as smoothly without him. That's when Mike realizes something powerful. Freedom isn't created by working more hours. It's created by building better systems. The cafe now generates more than income. It gives Mike something even more valuable: time with the people he loves. Many people think business success is measured only by money, but the best entrepreneurs know it's also measured by freedom, purpose, and peace. Mike's journey proves that a successful cafe isn't built one busy day at a time. It's built through hundreds of smart decisions made consistently.
One day, a young entrepreneur visits Mike and asks, "What's the secret to building a successful cafe?" Mike smiles, because
Mike doesn't talk about fancy coffee machines or expensive furniture. Instead, he draws one simple circle, labeled customer. Every smart decision starts with one question. Does this create more value for the customer? If the answer is yes, the business...
The cafe becomes more than a place to buy coffee. It becomes part of the neighborhood, where people meet friends, celebrate
Mike finally understands that great businesses don't simply sell products. They become meaningful parts of...
Looking back, Mike realizes most cafe failures don't happen overnight. They begin with small mistakes repeated every single day.
Mistake number 1, opening a cafe because you love coffee, without understanding the business behind it.
Mistake number 2, ignoring the numbers. Hope is never a financial strategy.
Mistake number 3, trying to do everything alone, instead of building a reliable team and clear systems. And the biggest mistake of all, forgetting that every dollar earned comes from a customer's trust. Protect that trust, and
5 years later, Mike's cafe is still serving coffee, but the business has evolved far beyond what he imagined on opening day.
Technology changed the industry, customer habits changed, and competition became stronger. But Mike kept adapting instead of resisting. He discovered a simple truth. Businesses that stop learning eventually stop growing.
Every challenge Mike faced became a lesson. Every mistake became experience. And every improvement made the business a little stronger.
In the end, Mike realizes that the economics of owning a cafe was never just about coffee. It was about making...
Before we leave Mike's story, let's look at 5 business lessons that apply to almost every successful company, not just cafes.
Lesson 1. Solve a real problem. Businesses grow because they make people's lives easier, not because they simply sell products.
Lesson 2. Protect your cash. Revenue creates excitement, but healthy cash flow keeps a business alive.
Lesson 3. Trust grows slowly, but it can disappear surprisingly fast. Every customer experience matters.
Lesson 4. And perhaps the most important, never stop learning. Markets change, customers change, and here's the 5th lesson. Success isn't built by making one perfect decision. It's built by making good decisions consistently.
When Mike opened his cafe, he thought he was simply selling coffee. Looking back, he realizes he was learning economics, leadership. Every customer, every challenge, and every setback became another page in Mike's business education. That's how experience creates wisdom. Whether you're opening a cafe, starting a business, or simply managing your own money, the same principle applies. Understand your numbers, and maybe that's the real economics of owning a cafe. It's never just about coffee. It's about creating value that people... Mike's story isn't really about coffee. It's about how small, smart decisions made consistently over time, every expense mattered, every customer mattered, every lesson mattered, and together, those small choices built something much bigger than... Whether you dream of owning a cafe, launching a startup, or simply managing your own money, the principles remain surprisingly similar. Build systems, protect your cash, earn people's trust, keep learning. Those habits create businesses that can last for decades.
Owning a cafe wasn't just about selling coffee. It was about creating value and earning trust. Subscribe and keep building.